Hello friends, welcome to the world of maths by AMIYA. In this learning video, we'll learn few concepts of mod and we'll solve these two questions. Okay. First of all, check the fastest method to solve these two questions, and that method is really fastest. One cannot beat that method. Okay. Now check the fastest method. And the fastest way to solve this type of question is use Wolfram. Just put the data and within seconds, depend upon the speed of your connection and the processing time of Wolfram, we would get the answer, and an answer is nothing but we have 100 integral solutions. This is the fastest way to solve this question. And the second fastest is the graph method and getting the exact critical points and solve for the critical points. Now check the graph method. So Wolfram is the one of the fastest method, or any scientific calculator is the fastest method to solve any of the algebraic functions. Okay, now jokes apart, we have to check two methods. One is the graph plus algebra and second one is the linear dependency. First check the graph method, which is nothing but the mother of concepts of all of the methods. Then we'll check the linear dependency, or people say that is the weight method or the work method. You can say anything, but this is actual the linear dependency. First we'll discuss the graph method, then the linear dependency. Okay, how do we plot the graph of mod x plus 10 plus mod x minus y? First, assume this value is 0. If this value is 0, so we are getting x is nothing but 5. Assume this value is 0, so we are getting x is nothing but minus 10. What do you mean by assuming the value is 0? We are finding the roots, nothing else. So we find the roots of each of the mod. If there would be more mods, we will find the roots of all the mods. Let's plot the minus 10 and 5. Say this value is minus 10, this value is 5. We got this one. For the 5, this value is 0. Assume x is 5. We are getting this value is 0, this value is 15. For the x5, y is nothing but 15. Assume this one is 15. If x is 10, what is the value? This becomes 0, this becomes 5. For the x, this is nothing but 5. Assume this one is 5. So what we have to do, we have to get the corresponding value of the complete functions at individual roots. And how do we plot graph? The graph of the mod function is the linear. Just join these 2 points and this should have some slope. This should have some slope. So this is our graph of this function. This is the graph of this function. Now we have to find the graph of the complete less than equal to 100. What do you mean by 100? We have y 100 assumed somewhere. We have assumed y is 100 at somewhere. So this is the graph of x plus. So the graph which is visible is what? Mod x plus 10 plus mod x minus 5 equal to 100, and this point is for the equality. But we want less than. So we are looking for the lower points. So this is the graph of this function. How did I plot? I get the individual roots, get the complete functions at that individual roots and plotted the graph, and this is nothing but a freehand drawing. So this is the mod graph of this function and we are looking for this value. So if we find this value and this value known as the critical value and the all values within this integral, because we are discussing all the integers values within this point to this point. So we have to find the individual x for this one, individual x for this one. And if we get these two critical points and we'll find all the values, we'll get the all integral solution which is less than, because no exemption, we are looking for all the values. If there would be some exemption like graph would go upward, we exempt those values. So how do we solve these functions? First of all, we know what is the graph. This is the learning method. I hope this one is clear. Now we know for the x is equal to 5, means for this function we are looking for the right hand side. The right hand side is nothing but the plus, and right hand side is nothing for the plus, and for this point also we are looking for the right hand side. Right hand side is nothing but the plus, so we want all plus. So let's open the bracket with the plus. X plus 10 plus x minus 5 plus, say assume is equal to 100. So we'll get this value, that is nothing but 2x plus 5 is equal to 100. So we'll say x is nothing but 95 by 2, or we can say this is nothing but 47.5. So this is the value of 47.5. How I get this equation? Because if we are going to the right hand side is the plus, open with the plus. Okay, for this functions, look, at this point we are getting the second critical point. and these two are the individual roots, and we are looking for the negative of this point and negative of this point, means left. So just open with the negative, that is minus 10 plus x in a bracket, that is a negative because mod opens with either positive or negative, or we can say minus x minus 5 equal to 100. So this is nothing but minus 2x minus 5 is equal to 100. So we can say minus 2x is nothing but 105. So our minus x is nothing but 105 divided by 2. So we can say x is nothing but minus 52.5. So this is for what? This value. I hope this one is clear. First we plotted the graph, then we find the critical values, and we understand the critical value is the left or right of the roots. This value is the right for the both, so we open for the positive. This value is the left for the both, means negative for the both. We open the values, we get the critical values. So we have critical value is 47.5, another critical value is nothing but minus 52.5. I hope this one is clear. Okay, we want all values since inequality does not exist, so we want all integers within the bracket because we know the graph lies for the all. We are looking for less than 100 and all values are less than 100 because 100 is the this point and all graph are less than 100. So we want minus 55.5 and 47.5 but do not include, and we are looking for the integer. So the integer more than this critical value is minus 52 and the integer less than this value is 47. And how many points do we have? We have plus 47 points, minus 52 points, and 1 point is a 0. So we have total 47 plus 52, 1 for the 0. So we have 100 integral solution. I hope this one is clear. So this one is the graph and the algebra method of solving this. For better understanding, use the same method for our next. So friend, I hope you understand the process. I would suggest please pause the video and use the graph method only. I hope you have solved the question. Now first of all we need to find the individual roots. The individual root of this one is nothing but 7. This one is minus 15. The meaning of individual root is what? When this becomes 0, x is 7. This becomes 0, x is minus 15. When this becomes 0, x is 10. So we'll get the individual roots. Minus 15 plot minus 15 plot 7 plus 10. Okay. Now for the x is equal to 7, this becomes 0. We have 22, that is nothing but 7 minus 10, and 9 is nothing but 31. So x is equal to 7. Our one value of the graph is 31. Then put it x is equal to minus 15, that is nothing but 22. This becomes 0, that is minus 15, minus 25, that is nothing but 75. Total is 97. So this value assumed is the 97 irrespective of the scale value because we are just plotting the graph. Then put the individual root or the corresponding root of the 10. This becomes 3, this becomes 25, and this becomes 0. So for the 10 we have 28. So the graph of this look like this. We have this graph. So we can say we are getting the minima at x is equal to 10. We can find the minima also by this value. Now we are looking for 100, which should be y. So assume this point is the 100. So this is the graph of what we required, and we are looking for the less than. So we are taking the all values below this graph for the individual x, and these two are our critical values. So we need to find the critical values. How do we find the critical values? We are looking for this critical values or right. Or right means what? All positive. So we open the graph of mod as a all positive because we know mod opens as a all positive or all negative. Since critical point is the in the right hand side of all corresponding roots, so we open for the all positive. I hope this one is clear. So open for the all positive. Assume this one is positive, x minus 7 plus x plus 15 plus 3x minus 30 is equal to 100. So what is this all about? X plus 3x is nothing but 5x, minus 7 plus 15 is plus 8, that is minus 22 is equal to 100. So x is nothing but 122 by 5, that is nothing but 24.4. So our first critical point is 24.4. We got our first critical point. We are looking for another critical point, that is nothing but extreme right, that is nothing but extreme right. If critical point should be here, then we'll work on this one positive, rest are the negative. Only x plus 15 should be open as positive because this critical point in the right hand side, rest should be in the negative left hand side. So open all as a negative, that is x minus 7. The meaning of negative is open minus sign, that is minus x plus 15, then minus 3 into x minus 10 is equal to 100. If we solve this value, we'll get x is nothing but minus 78 divided by 5, that is nothing but minus 15.6. So we got both critical points. So now plot both critical points. This critical point is minus 15.6. What do we mean by this critical point? The corresponding value of the x. The corresponding value of this for this critical point is nothing but 24.4. So if they ask the range about this one or the range of x or domain of the function, we can say we have minus 15.6 comma 24.4 and the open bracket. Why open bracket? Because inequality is not holding. If there should be equal to sign, then it should be closed bracket. But we are looking for the integral solutions. The integral solution within this bracket is what? Minus 15 to 24, and this is nothing but 40 values. So we have 40 integral values by the graph function. I hope this one is clear. But in examination, we do not use the graph function or the Wolfram alpha. So we have to use sum fast method. Now check the concept for the sum fast methods. Okay friends, to know the faster method for this, we know the word linear dependency. What is the meaning of the linear dependency? Means we have two variable in the single power. Say y is equal to ax, or the mx is the one type of the linear dependency, and other type is the y is equal to ax plus b or mx plus c. If you do not have any constant in the term, it is called directly proportion. That is the proportionality in the first term. If you have a constant or we have a constant term in the linear dependency, we'll say this is the dependent in a gap. Now, what is the directly proportion and the gap proportionality? This we can say the gap proportionality. The meaning of directly proportion is when y is equal to 6, x is equal to 2. When y is equal to 12, what should be the value of x? We know. Or we can say if this doubles, this should be doubles. So the change in y would do the corresponding change in x in the proportionality terms. Okay, this is a directly proportion when we do not have any constant term. But when we have a constant term, so the people who know the calculus, we can say this is dy plus a dx. So again the constant term is the 0. So we can say that dy is directly proportional to dx. What it means? The change of y, the change in y is directly proportional to change in x. What it means in the general terms? So we can say if y is equal to say 4, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 8, say x is equal to 3. We cannot say this is directly dependency because it's doubles, it's not doubles. So we can, but so how can we solve? First we say x is 1, y is 4, we'll get a and b relation. Y is 8, x and 3, we'll get the another relation, solve the values and get x and y. But there is no need to solve these type of questions if you're looking for any value. Say what would be the value for 16? Just say the corresponding x is what? Whenever we have directly dependency, we can directly say okay, doubles then doubles. But whenever we do not have a directly dependency, but we know it's a linear, we have to find the gap. How do we solve for the gap? What is the gap here? The gap is 4. The gap is 2. What is the gap here? The gap is 8. The gap should be directly proportional. The gap doubles. If the gap doubles, the gap doubles. Gap should be 4. So this is the directly proportionality of the gap. If you have two values, just find the gap. Gap of y and gap of x, we call it in the differentiation is the dy and dx. That is the differentiation of y and differentiation of x, or the better word is the difference of y and difference of x. Just find the difference of the y and difference of x. Then the difference and check the another difference. If it's 4, it's a 2, it's a 8, it's a 4. Doubles and directly proportionality. If this one is increasing, this one is increasing. Here it's also increasing, so it would increase. 3 plus 4 is nothing but 7. So we can directly find this should be 7 if y is x. I hope this one is clear. If not, I am taking more example. Assume we know it is linear dependency, then only. Say we have y and x. I am saying this is 10, this is 5. I am saying this is 20, this is 8. What would be the value of 60? The corresponding x. Fine. We need to check the gap. We have 10 gap, we have 3 gap, we have 40 gap, that is 4 times the gap should be 12. It's increasing, it's increasing, it's increasing, so it's have to increase, that is the x corresponding is 20. This is the linear dependency. For better understanding, I am again repeating the same thing. So we have y and x. So this is 10, this is 5. This is 20, this is 2. This is 40, this should be what? Again change the gap. Either 10 and 20. Gap doubles. Change is 3, change should be 6. But in which terms? Y increases, x decreases. Y increases, x should decrease. So 2 should be decreased by 6, so it should be nothing but minus 4. I hope this one is clear. If both increase, just increase. One increasing, second one is decreasing. It's again increasing, it should decrease by 6. 2 should be decreased by 6, so it's minus 4. That is the corresponding x for the 40. I hope this one is clear. Now we need to check how do we use this in our mod function. A mod function in any term is always linear, and we do not know we have constant term or not. So we can say it is nothing but the linear dependency, and we do not have the knowledge of the constant term do we have or not. If we know the constant term do we have, then okay. If we do not know, so no problem. But we always work like dy is directly proportional to dx. Difference in y is directly proportional to difference of x, though we have constant or not, irrespective of the constant. So I am using this concept. To solve our question. So this is our question. I'm going to use the linear dependency for this one, and I would suggest please always use the linear dependency. And the linear dependency is what people say the weight problem or the work done by the 2 or 3 people. But all these are the terminology of the mentor. The best terminology is the linear dependency according to maths. So first we need to find the individual roots. What is the individual root do we have? We have minus 10, we have 5 as individual roots. Just take any other roots. Say any other roots in the extreme right and the extreme left. I am taking nothing but minus 20 as a one root. I am taking 5 is what? 10 as another roots. So these two we have are the linear roots or the corresponding roots of our mod function. Just take one right and one left of the values. To find the gap, in between we can find the gap. Find the corresponding y. For the minus 20 we have 10, minus 25 is nothing but 35. For the minus 10 it's a 0 and we have 15. For the 5 it's a 0, we have 15. For the 10 it's 20 and it's a 5 is 25. So we have all values. I hope this one is clear. Not all. These two are the roots. These are the derived values. Okay. And what we want? We want 100. 100 is here. We want 100. 100 is here. We want 100. 100 is here. I hope this one is clear. So 100 is in the left of our corresponding roots, in the right of our corresponding roots. We just need to check the corresponding value of the x. We just need to find the corresponding value of the x. And how comes? What is a gap? Gap is 10. What is a gap? Gap is 5. What is a gap? Gap is 75. That is 7.5 times. The gap is the 7.5 times. Just multiply 7.5 times. 7.5 into 5 is 37.5. So this should be the value should be more than 37.5 from the 10 because it's a gap. So we have 47.5 as a value of x. I'm again repeating. We find the roots and the corresponding x and corresponding y for the corresponding roots. Then we'll get a values 10 and 25. We'll get a 10 extreme right and minus 20 in extreme right and the extreme left, and we'll get the corresponding y. We check. We are looking for the 100 which is the extreme right or the extreme left because it's increasing. Okay, in this we are not getting 100, in this we are not getting 100. 100 should be extreme right. In this bracket we are not getting 100, in this bracket we are getting 100 because extreme right left. So that is the first, is the 47.5 is our one critical value, and but we are looking for the integer, so the integer is nothing but 47. What is the gap here? The gap is 20. What is the gap here? Gap is 65. What is the gap here? Gap is nothing but 10. If 20 and 10, that is the gap of the half, so this would be nothing but 32.5. This would be 32.5. How comes? Either you can check 20 becomes 65, or you can check this one is half, this would be half. That is linearity. Either you can check with the y or the corresponding x and y. So 32.5 less than this will get nothing but 52.5 negative. And what is the equation? Is 52 negative is the integral value, because we want 52.5 and this one. So we'll have minus 52 and 47 total are the 100 integral solution, and this is an answer. So what is the concept? Concept is to find the roots, then check the movement, that is upon linearity. We need to check the linear concept movement. I hope this one is clear. If you have any doubt, I would say pause the video, rewind the video, and again learn the concept. And this is what we can say the work done concept. Some people moves right, some people moves left. Many of the videos or the mentor would use the method of the left and right. That is nothing but the linear dependency. Now solve the second question with the help of the linear dependency. Now use the linear dependency in this question. We have the smallest one is, for this the root is the 7 minus 15 and a 10. So plot minus 15, 7 and 10. Take any value 11. These are the roots. Take any value, say the 11. I'll see the we will check another concept that we have checked the minus 16, just change of 1. Now take what would happen. When we have 7, we calculated it's nothing but 31. When we have minus 15, we calculated it is nothing but 97, or you just calculate for the 10, we have 28. What happens when we have 11? Another one. This is extreme right. Finding extreme right and extreme left is the quite easy. How many x do we have? We have x, we have x, we have 3x. Extreme right and the extreme left would move as a 5x, means x should be 1. If you have only one change, it would move as a only 5. That is nothing but 33. Extreme right and extreme left is the quite easy. The number of x would the movement would be the gap. We have only one change, so it would be nothing but the 5 change is 102. So that is quite easy to find. This one is quite easy to find, that is the extreme right and the extreme left. What I said, the extreme right and the extreme left, the gap is nothing but the number of the x or the coefficient of x. That is the change of the 5. That would be quite easy, undoubtedly the easiest one. But whenever we have any value in the mid, we'll solve another question to understand the concept more. We have to work on the gap. Fine. What we are looking for? We are looking for the 100. 100 is somewhere here. Extreme right. 100 is somewhere here. That is the extreme left with corresponding to our roots. That is again easy to find. We have 100 and we know the gap is 5. We know the gap is 5. If we have 100 and we have gap of the 5, so we can say what is the gap here? The gap is 5. Here the gap is 5. Here we are looking for what is the gap? Gap is nothing but 67. 5 is to 67 is what we work for. The 67 divided by 5, that is nothing but 11 plus 67 by 5 is 122 by 5, and this is nothing but 24.5. So we get our critical point as 24.5 and the close bracket, open bracket, because it's less than. We have to work here. That is nothing but 100. We are looking for the 100. What is the gap? Gap of the 3. Gap of the 3. And the 3 gap is what? 3 by 5 effect. That was nothing but the 3 by 5 effect. Okay, so this would be nothing but minus 78 by 5. So this is our critical range, and this one is integral value is 24. Here integral value is minus 16. So total values are nothing but 40. So this is how do we solve the gap problem. For better understanding, instead of inequality, I am solving a question of the equality. Okay, now check. Okay, for better practice, let's solve this question. First of all, we need to find the roots. The root of this one is what? Plus 10. That one is what? Minus 15. This one is what? Minus 10. So first of all, you have to write the value of x, the corresponding roots in the ascending order. That is minus 15, minus 10 and 10. Write the ascending order. Then what you have to do? Write the values of x. The coefficient of x is what? X. The coefficient of here x is what? 2x. The coefficient of x is what? X. We get minus 15, minus 10 and 10 as a corresponding roots for the which x? We have x, 2x and x. Why I have given this? Because we have decided the movement according to the value. Then get the corresponding values of y. For the minus 10, if I put the minus 10, if I put the minus 15, this becomes 0. Minus 15 is 25, 5. So we'll get, it is nothing but 30. Minus 10, this becomes 0. That is 10. That is again 30. For the plus 10, this becomes 0. This becomes 50 and 20 is the 70. So we get the x and y. Which value do we want? Is a 40. Now solve for the 40 and check what I am doing. What I have done is I found the corresponding roots for the corresponding y. I am looking for the 40. In this bracket, we won't get the 40 because it's starting from 30 to 30. That is 30 to 70. In this bracket, I'll get 40. It's 30. That is again, mod is increasing function in general. So we'll get, that is what? 40. Because all signs are positive, so we'll get mod as an increasing functions. That is, in this bracket, we'll get 40. Fine. So what is the x? First of all, we'll check that is minus 10. This is the minus 10 and plus something. We have to check. In this bracket, what we have is the minus 15. So minus 15 plus something. What the plus something? Plus something is dy upon dx. So change in this is the 30 to 40 is only 10. Because we are working on the minus 10, so change in the 30 to 40 is the 10. Here 30 to 40 change is the 10. That is nothing but a dy. We need to find a dx. In this, the movement is the right, the movement is the right, that is plus, and the movement is the left. So we can say the movement are nothing but 1 from here, 2 from here, and minus 1 from here, and movement also change. So the movement in x or the change in x is nothing but 2. That is 5. So we'll get minus 5 as a 1. Solution for 40, this equation. I hope this one is clear. Okay. Now, what would be this value? We have, what is the change? Here the change is what? Everyone is moving the negative. So this will move 1 minus. This will move 2 minus. This will move minus 1. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 is the minus 4. So that is nothing but 5 by minus 2. That is minus 30 and minus 35 by 2 is the another solution. We have the solution of minus 5 and minus 35 for this one. I hope this one is clear. I plotted x and y and I changed the movement of x. And I got it's in this bracket, so it is minus 10 and the right. That is 30 to 40 change is the plus 10. 30 to 40 change is the plus 10 and the change in the x. So what we have a base value x iota plus dy upon dx is the our solution. What is the x iota? This one. You can take x iota as a 10. You can take x iota as a 10. Say I'm solving this for. I'm taking x iota is a 10. 10 to 40 the gap is of the minus 30 because ये decreased हुआ, that is minus 30. What is the change? This one is the negative, is the minus, this one plus plus, so this is was 2. So that is nothing but minus 15. Minus 15 and 10 is what we have, nothing but minus 5. So you can take any x. Get the change. Change is what? This acts to the initial value. So this is the change. And what is the dy? Dy, the 70 to 40 is a decrease of minus 30. Here it is an increase of plus 10. What is the dx? Dx is the movement of the x according to the in which block our y lies. Okay, I hope it is clear. I would suggest please pause the video and solve the question. For this, the data is the same. We just need to work on 90. I hope this one is clear. Then we'll solve this question. So your time starts now for this question. Pause the video and solve the question. I hope you have solved the question. So what data do we have? We have x, 2x and x. For the x we have minus 15, we have minus 10, we have 10. Getting the value from here, we have 30, we have 30, we have 70. We'll get 90 here, we will get 90 here. Why I'm writing 90 and 90? Because all are the positives. Here some are the positive, some are the negative. So we have to check. All are the positive. Is it okay? So what is the value? X is the minus 15. So I'm working here for the minus 15. What is the change? 30 to 90 is the change of plus 60. Then what is the change? All are the negative. That is minus 4 is the change. So that is cancelled out. That is nothing but minus 15. So the first value is minus 30. We have to work on this. The base value is 10. What is the change? Change of the 20, and in this all are the 4, that is 5. So the x is nothing but 15. I hope this one is clear. So we need to work on x iota plus dy upon dx is our answer. Okay, now solve this question. First of all, get the values of x. X is what? Is 5. Here x is what? Minus 5. Here x is what? 10. Here is the minus 10. What is the smallest value of this one? Is the minus 10. And we'll get the value of 25, 20, minus 30 and minus 45. And we need to get 0, and we need to get 0. Since this is a increasing function, and we need to get 0. Since we have a function, so we'll get 0 here. 20 to minus 30 will get a 0 here. But we have a different sign, so we can get 0 here if this graph increases. We'll get 0 here if this graph decreases. The only increasing and decreasing after the extreme point, the extreme left and extreme right, is only when the x and all x are the positive. Okay, so we need to check a value of anyone. So take 11. Put x as a 11 in this expression and get the value. When I put the x as a 11, we'll get the value as minus 46. So can I say after the roots, if I put the another value which is the right of the roots, I am getting minus 46, minus 30, minus 46, minus 45 and minus 46 means it's a decreasing graph, so we won't get 0 in this bracket. So here the 0 is only in this bracket, but we need to check in the extreme left bracket. So I need to put minus 11. I'll say what happens in when I put minus 11. And after putting minus 11, I am getting 24. So this graph is decreasing. So 20, 25 and 24 means graph is decreasing. So we'll get another 0 at here. So we'll get 0 at in between minus 5 and 5 for 20 and minus 30, because 0 comes here. Here the graph is minus 45 and minus 46, so decreasing, no 0. Here the 25 to 24, so graph would decrease to 0. So we have two values of 0. One is between minus 5 to 5, another one is less than minus 10. So work for the minus 10. We have minus 10 is a one value, plus what is the gap? 25 to 0, the gap is 25 negative. Why comes? Because 25 to 0, gap is 25 negative. And what would be the change of x? Since here the all are going to the negative sign, minus 10 comes for the 1. So we have x, we have dy. We need to find x. And everyone is going to negative. Just minus 10. Minus 10 is for this value. And we have minus sign here. What do we mean by minus sign? That is nothing but minus 1 here. I am just writing the corresponding coefficient of x, minus 1. Here it's the plus 1 for the plus 10. Here we have plus 1 for the plus 10. Then the minus 2x for the 5. Minus 5. Minus 2 is for the minus 5. Then we have plus 1. Why I am writing plus and minus sign? Just check. We have minus x for the x plus 10 is equal to 0. For the minus 10 we have minus 1. For the minus 10 we have minus 1. For the plus 10 we have plus 1. For the minus 5 we have minus 2 with the sign. And all are going in opposite direction. In the extreme left, when we move to the left, we change the sign. Minus 1 becomes plus 1. Minus 2 becomes 2. 1 becomes minus 1. And plus 1 becomes minus 1. So this is cancelled out. This becomes 1. So this is our dx. That is nothing but minus 5. What I say, when we move to the next, change the sign of x. That is the negation. So in the extreme left, we'll get minus 35 as a one solution for the x is 0. What happens when we work in this value? In this value, I am working, take minus 5 as a base, minus 5 as a base, plus what is the change? 20 to 0, the change is of the minus 20. Change is of the minus 20. What is the x? X is going plus, x is going plus. When we are going to the right, that is nothing but no sign change, minus 2, minus 2. But this one is coming negative, minus 1. This one coming negative, minus 1. So we have minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 is the minus 5. This one is nothing but 4. Minus 5 plus 4 is the 1. So we'll get another solution as a 1. So two roots, as one is the minus 35, another one is the x. So we have nothing but the value of x, for which we'll get the value is x iota base plus dy upon dx. dy is the easy to find the gap. 20 to 0 is the minus 20 gap. 25 to 0 is the minus 25 is the gap. The main thing is to how do we find the dx. If we move in the left, we change the sign of the coefficient of x with considering the value of plus and minus before the bracket. If you go to the right, no change, and solve the question. I hope this one is clear. But still, if you feel you have any doubt, feel free to ping me. Thank you and happy learning, and God bless you.